Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound and honestly surprising argument from the author Amitav Ghosh. He's tackling a huge question. Why is it so hard for us to tell compelling stories about climate change? Right. This is the central mystery he's trying to solve. I mean, think about it. Why is there this great silence in our most serious art form, the modern novel, about what is easily the most threatening issue of our time? It's a massive question, and Ghosh argues the answer is baked right into the DNA of modern storytelling itself. Okay, so here's his core argument. The modern novel, especially in the West, is just obsessed with what's probable, with social reality, with things that feel believable in a day-to-day sense. And because of that intense focus, he says it's just not built to handle the sheer, bizarre, off-the-charts scale of the climate crisis. So to explain this problem, he brings in this super fascinating concept, the uncanny. Now, what's that? Well, think about events in a story that are so weird, so strange, they just feel unbelievable. They're eerie, maybe even a little taboo. They break all the normal rules of realism, and they leave you feeling really deeply unsettled. And here is where Ghosh makes this absolutely brilliant connection to the real world. He says that what's happening to our planet right now, the freak storms, the sudden wildfires, the mass migrations, it's all so extreme and mysterious that it triggers that exact same feeling of the uncanny. Our minds almost can't accept it as real because it just shatters our sense of what's normal. In other words, climate change isn't just something to write about, it is an uncanny event that we're all living through. Okay, so if the problem is that our stories are too realistic, what do you do about it? Well, Ghosh doesn't just talk about it. He actually gives us an answer with his own novel, Gun Island, which dives headfirst into this challenge. Instead of shying away from the unbelievable, Ghosh just floods his story with it. He weaves in these incredible ancient myths. There's a mother who hears her dead daughter's voice. You've got spirits appearing during storms, characters who can literally feel the presence of the dead. He's using all these supernatural elements to build a story that's actually big enough, and frankly, strange enough, to capture the eerie reality of the world we're in. And he does something really clever here, narratively. He completely flips that old colonial stereotype on its head. It's not the Indian characters who are superstitious. No, they're the rational, grounded ones. It's actually the European character who is the true believer in all these uncanny events. It's a reversal that makes the whole story feel way more convincing to a modern reader. Now, he lays this entire framework out in his nonfiction book, The Great Derangement. He breaks the problem down into three big connected pieces. Stories, which we've just been talking about, history, which gets into the roots of the crisis, and politics, the systems that keep the whole thing going.
To really get what's happening now, you've got to look back. And for Ghosh, the deep, deep roots of our current mess are buried in the colonial era.
He makes this powerful case that colonialism just systematically wiped out local, ancient knowledge systems. I mean, think about the wisdom that told people for centuries not to build too close to the ocean. That was just tossed aside and replaced with this Western idea of development at all costs. It's a mindset that reframed the whole planet as just a pile of resources to be used up, and it put us directly in the path of danger. And that leads us right into politics. Ghosh points to imperialism and its modern-day partner, capitalism, as the twin engines that demand this constant, aggressive extraction from the earth. They create this relentless economic logic where it doesn't matter if it's mining or burning fossil fuels, short-term profit always wins out over long-term planetary health. These are the systems, he says, that are pushing the climate crisis forward. And to show you this isn't just some abstract theory, Ghosh completely soaks his novel in the language of our new reality. He's embedding the vocabulary of this uncanny world right into the story. Words like floods, which are swamping our city, and cyclones, which are gathering this terrifying new strength over the warming oceans.
Wildfires that now burn with this unnatural, almost evil intensity.
Drought, which turns landscapes we know and love into something strange and hostile. And, of course, tsunamis. This isn't just a random list. This is the sound of our planet in crisis. It's a collection of words that make something abstract feel terrifyingly, physically real. So, wow. If the problem is this deep, if it's woven into our stories, our history, our politics, what on earth could a solution even look like? Well, Ghosh offers an answer that is really provocative, and for a lot of people, totally unexpected. He frames our entire situation using the Sanskrit term dharmasanket. It describes a kind of profound dilemma where every option you have seems both right and wrong at the same time. Like, do you push for development to lift people from poverty, even if it hurts the environment? Or do you protect the environment, which might keep people poor? It feels like an impossible no-win choice. So how do you solve an impossible choice, this Dharma Sankat? Ghosh's answer is actually surprisingly simple. It's Dharma. He argues that the way forward isn't in conventional politics, it's in the world of faith and religion. So why? Why turn to faith? Well, he argues that religious organizations are kind of uniquely equipped for this particular fight. For one, they can mobilize millions of people. They operate across national borders. They think in terms of generations, not just quarterly profits. And maybe most importantly, they are capable of imagining huge, catastrophic, non-linear change in a way that our current political and economic systems just can't. For Ghosh, the idea of these massive global religious groups working with grassroots movements isn't some retreat into fantasy. He sees it as a powerful and practical strategy. As he puts it himself, to me, it is yet another sign of hope. And this brings everything full circle, doesn't it? Ghosh's radical idea is that to solve a crisis of the modern world, we might need to look to our most ancient forms of wisdom. It leaves us with a really powerful question to chew on. Could the stories and beliefs that have guided humanity for thousands of years actually be the key to navigating the uncanny future we've created for ourselves?